Alright, welcome back to part 2 of today's lesson where we are solving word problems. I'm really excited about this part just because this is where we get to apply real world problems and see how we'll see things in the real world. This could be from grocery shopping to eating out to making things at home. This is where we actually get to see our math in action. But before we begin, we do have two types of variables when we are looking at these real-world word problems. We have independent variables and dependent variables. Now, independent, when you think independent, that's doing things on your own, right? So that's what an independent variable is. The variable does not rely on anything else. So examples are your age. How old are you? That is your age. How much money you have in your pocket. Does not matter about anything else, just how much there is. How many pages you read this week. That is an independent variable. It doesn't depend on anything else. It's standing alone. The other side of things are a dependent variable. Now, dependent variables depend on another variable for their outcome. So dependent variables are variables that rely on another variable. Examples of this are how much I made after so many weeks, and I'm going to use X because we don't know how many weeks after so many weeks. How old I am compared with my sister. Compared to my sister's age. And so you'll see these have two different parts to it. There's the dependent variable and then the number that is different. So if you're asking how old I am compared to if I'm 3 years older than my sister, you don't know how old I am unless you know that my sister is 22. If you know how much I make per week, you won't know how much I make total unless we know the number of weeks I've been working. If I make $500 every week, you won't know my total amount unless I tell you I have been working for 10 weeks. So when we start looking at our real world problems, if you look right up there, you'll see our first one. It says, on each necklace Jake makes, there are 17 more purple beads than silver beads. Let S, okay, what's S represent? Let S represent the number of silver beads, okay? S equals silver beads. And P represent the number of purple beads. All right, so we are looking, S is our independent variable because no matter how many silver beads are there, we'll always know the number of silver beads, but there's 17 more purple beads than silver beads. So we have our purple beads, which is our independent variable. Sorry, our dependent variable. Purple beads are the dependent variable. Silver beads we know is the independent variable because it is the one that we're basing our other number off of. So we know that there are 17 more purple beads. So that 17 more is going to translate into, if you have more, it means you're going to be adding, so plus 17. So we're going to take P, which is the number of purple beads, equals the silver beads plus 17. There's our equation. Now it also tells us find the value of P when s equals 1. So I'm going to comma this, go s equals 1. Now this is just what we've seen before with our substitution method. All we've got to do here is substitute our 1 in for s. You plug that 1 in for s, and we'll rewrite our equation and solve. So here we have p, which is the number of purple beads, equals 1 plus 17. Now I know 1 plus 17 is 18. So then p equals 18. There we go. That's it. All right. We're going to slide on over here to our next problem. So a shipyard produces 8 new ships each month. Let M represent the number of months and S represent the total number of ships produced. M equals months. S equals ships. Now when we see the word each is up there. That is going to mean multiply. Each is going to be multiply. Okay. So then it says find the value of S, the number of ships, when M, the months, equals 10. So how many ships do they build each month? 5 months. So we're going to have our months and our ships. Now, one of those is going to be independent, and one of them is going to be dependent. Can I count the number of months? I can. I can go, okay, January, February, March, that's April, that was 4 months. And then each of these months, they build 5 ships. So my independent variable, the one that doesn't matter about any other number, is going to be my months. Independent variable. Which means the number of ships must be our dependent variable. Okay. So for each month, they build 5 ships. And if each means multiply, that must mean we're going to multiply by 5. Okay. So we want the value of S, we're going to say S equals the number of months, which is M, and then the 5 ships each month times 5. Now, so after 1 month that we do 1 times 5 is 5. 2 months we do 2 times 5 is 10. But it doesn't ask us about either of those. It asks us when M equals 10, so after 10 months. So again, I'm going to put a comma in here and say M equals 10 because that is saying, hey, what is the number of ships when each month they make 5 and there are 10 months? So S equals M times 5 when, that comma just means when, just a math way to say when, M equals 10. So then our next step, of course, is just going to be to substitute back in our 10 for M. We're going to put our 10 in for M. I'm going to say S equals 10 times 5. And I know that 10 times 5 is 50. So S equals 50. All right. I'm going to put one more problem up here on the screen for us to try. It says you use 10 tomatoes to make each pizza. Each pizza. Okay. Let S represent the number of bowls of salad. That should say the number of pizzas. Let me see if I can change that. The number of pizzas. And T represent the number of tomatoes you use. Sorry, I changed that to make it more fun. I thought pizza was more fun than salad, but clearly I didn't edit it right. So sorry about that. So you use 10 tomatoes to make each pizza. Let S represent the number of pizzas, and T represent the total numbers of tomatoes you use. Find the value when find the value of T when S equals 3. Okay, so your first step, you've got to figure out whether you're adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing, and then figure out which one is your dependent variable and which one's your independent variable. And then go ahead and write your equation, and then solve when S equals 3. Pause the video here, and jump back on when you have your answer, and I'll work it out down here. Awesome. I hope that you remember that each meant multiply. So that means right away we're going to multiply. We have tomatoes. And we have pizza. This is, I don't know, maybe you're using it to make the sauce. Maybe you like tomatoes on your pizza. I like tomatoes on my pizza, but you might be using it for the sauce. Okay, so there are 10 tomatoes on each pizza. Because we have each before pizza, we're saying 10 tomatoes on each. Tomatoes is going to be our dependent variable, and pizza will be the independent variable. You can make any number of pizzas, but once you have a number of pizzas, then you can figure out the number of tomatoes. Now we know again that each equals multiply. How much are we going to multiply by? Well, there's 10 tomatoes on each pizza, so we're going to do our independent variable times 10, and then we're just going to go ahead and write our equation. We want to know how many tomatoes. That pen doesn't work. I keep reaching for this pen, and it doesn't work. We're going to we want the number of tomatoes is equal to the number of pizzas we make times 10. There we go. That is our equation. The number of tomatoes is equal to the number of pizzas times 10. Now, it's asking us, how about when we make 5 pizzas? Or when S equals 3? I've been using P, sorry. So we're going to keep using P. You can use S, you can use P, as long as you use the same letter. When P equals 3, how many tomatoes do you need? Well, you know, we know, we're all going to do this together. P equals 3. We're going to substitute in 3 for P, then rewrite our equation. T equals 3 times 10. And I know that 3 times 10 is 30. So the number of tomatoes for 3 pizzas is 30 tomatoes. All right, I'm going to post your IXL assignment right under this. It is solving word problems just the same way we just practiced, we learned right here. Reach out to me with any questions. You're going to do a great job on it, and have a wonderful day. You rock. Let me know if you have any questions at all.